Hello everybody and welcome back to another new video. It's me, Will, and this is going to be my newest vinyl update video for the month of January of 2024, as well as some pickups from the end of last year that I haven't showed you in my channel yet. In this one, actually, I don't have that many brand new releases from this year in 2024. Actually, only one record that I'm going to show you today is going to be a brand new release. Everything else is going to be some older stuff, some reissues, and some pickups from the record show from Atlanta and last year. But as usual, everything is going to be really good stuff. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's start off with a classic record from the 90s that was just repressed last year. This is the Last Splash by the Breeders, one of my favorite albums from the 90s. And this one is the 30th anniversary edition of the record that came out late last year on 4AD Records. So the original one, of course, came out in 1993, and I still have the original one on CD. One of my favorite albums of the 90s for sure. So I had to pick this one up because 4AD did do kind of like an exclusive package of the record on the 20th anniversary of the album 10 years ago. I missed out on that one. For some reason, I wasn't able to get it. So I definitely wanted to pick up the newest anniversary package of the record. And they really went all out on this one. They're calling this the 30th anniversary on original analog edition on on double clear vinyl, one red vinyl. So 3 LPs or 3 discs on this one. And they're saying that it's the original 1993 album remastered from original analog half-inch tape, cut at half speed at Abbey Road Studios. They really wanted to make you know, let you know that it was cut at Abbey Road Studios and pressed at 45 RPM, which I know a lot of people in the VC don't like it when they do a double LP on 45 RPM. I agree it's a little bit unnecessary, but I think the approach that the guys at 4AD were doing was that since they already did something somehow special for the 20th anniversary of the record with all the extra tracks, they wanted to do something different for the 30th anniversary of the record. And in this case, they went with the audiophile approach. Full analog, remastered at Abbey Road, half-inch tape, whatever that means. I'm not very technical with that stuff. And it includes the bonus disc with 2 unreleased tracks, which we will talk about later in the video. So yeah, I think, and this version came in with the alternative cover. I ordered this one online, or pre-ordered it online last year. And I was glad that I picked up a version of with the alternate cover. There's some other ones that came in with the standard artwork in the front, but this one sold out pretty quick. And again, they really went all out in this package. I guess the only thing that was really missing on this one was a gatefold, because everything they had to put in here in just a single sleeve. And it does have 3 records inside, so it's a little bit heavy. And I dropped the booklet as well. This is a 10-inch booklet with artwork and pictures of the band. Some really cool pictures in here. Lyrics and the credits. Classic picture of the Breeders there. There's a really cool picture in here that I really like that I wanted to show you here in the video. I love this picture of the band from back in the 90s holding film cameras. Love that picture. I think it's a great one. Nice little booklet, and here are the 3 discs. So of course 2 of them hold the original album remastered, and they came in with their individual printed sleeves with the artwork that is a little bit hard to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there with the glare. But the records themselves, this one right here are the album, the discs with the original album remastered. I mean, very clear vinyl with the custom labels. And they did include a few fun messages around the dead wax too that are really fun. And yeah, my pressing sounds great in my stereo, in my turntable. There are a few comments on Discogs of people complaining about the sound quality on this one. I guess it could be that some people got a bad press, bad record with some errors in the pressings, but my two LPs sound perfect. There's almost no surface noise. It sounds great. And I am not really an audiophile, but I can tell a little bit of a difference in this when I play these records. I think it's because I've listened to the original one on CD for hundreds of times, perhaps. So I can tell a few different sounds that I haven't noticed before when I played this one. There's a classic artwork there of the fuzzy helmet. But yeah, they did a great job in the pressing of this audiophile version of Last Splash. Here's the third disc, the bonus disc that comes in with red vinyl, and it comes with 2 songs in one side, and the other side is just an etching. I was trying to figure out what the etching was, and it is a kind of like an early drawing of the fuzzy helmet artwork that I showed you before, with some additional text as well. Kind of hard to figure out what it is, but it's still pretty cool. Package-wise, I think this is they really did a great job in this one, and music-wise as well. The whole record sounds excellent. It's kind of like a special thing for audiophiles and for big fans and collectors. And I didn't have this record on vinyl, even though it's one of my favorite records of all time. So I was glad to pick it up. The 2 extra songs that are included in that red bonus disc are unreleased songs, which I was very surprised that those 2 songs that they didn't release them before. They had them shelved for so long because they're fantastic. The first one is a song called Go Man Go, which is a collaboration between Kim Deal and Black Francis, or Frank Black, however you want to call him. It could have easily been an unreleased Pixie song. And the second song is a song called Divine Mascis, which is the classic song from the record, Divine Hammer, but played in guitar as well as sang by J Mascis of Dinosaur Jr. Now, to be honest, the first time I heard that track, I wasn't quite sure. I think it's because I was just so familiar with the original one from the record that it just sounded different. It sounded weird. But after a few more listens, I have to admit, that's a great track. And J Mascis is just a fantastic guitar player and singer. He really puts his own spin on Divine Mascis. And as a bonus, I also got, since I pre-ordered this one, I got a bumper sticker that says Driving on 9, a reference, of course, to the song from Last Splash. All right, up next, this is actually going to be the only brand new release that I'm going to be able to show you in this video, but it is a very good one. So it is the debut album from Sprints, and this one's called Letter to Self, and it came out earlier this year in 2024 on City Slang Records. Very young band from Dublin in Ireland. Debut album, and it came in with a nice insert, some additional artwork, and the lyrics in very small font. And the record, or the vinyl version that I was able to get, came in on just standard black vinyl. They sold out of the color version of the vinyl pretty quick in their Bandcamp. But I was still lucky to pick up a version on black vinyl from their website, because when I went to buy them, they only had a handful of them left on black vinyl. So I got lucky still to have just a black vinyl version. Anyways, debut album from Sprints, excellent debut from the band. I was trying to figure out how to describe the music from this band. It is a little bit of a mix between Joy Division and Courtney Love, or the first couple of Hole records. That's how it sounds to me. So it definitely has very clear post-punk influences, maybe influenced a little bit in the music from Savages from the UK. But also mixed with 90s sounding guitars, and that's how it sounds to me. So like maybe the first couple of Hole records, as well as the first record from Veruca Salt, and female vocals as well, kind of screamy vocals. So that's where I came in with the reference to the first couple of Hole albums and Courtney Love. That's how it sounds to me. Lots of emotion in the vocals and in the guitars and in everything in this record. This is the record to play really out loud, visceral when it comes to the performance of the vocalist in this record. She does an excellent job in singing in this record, in this album. Very, very strong debut album from Sprint. This is a band that I'm going to be keeping an eye in the future for sure. Again, this one's called Letters to Self by Sprints.
And you ever sweaty? Do you ever feel like the room is heavy and I can't sleep? And I can barely breathe.
So one of my vinyl collecting goals for this year in 2024 was to pick up all of the 4 box sets that came out in the last couple of years from the replacements. All 4 of them. So I've been waiting a little bit for the prices to really drop down in price. So I'm slowly starting to pick up all those 4 box sets. And this is the newest one, or the first one that I got so far. The box set for Pleased to Meet Me from the replacements. And this one came out back in 2020. The reissue, the box set came out in 2020. The original one, of course, came out in 1987 on Sire Records. And this box set came in kind of like a collaboration between Sire and Rhino Records. And by the way, this is the right way to do a really good box set of a classic album, in my opinion. This is the same thing. Rhino, I think, is the one that is doing all these box sets in this kind of format, because they've done the same thing with the 40th anniversary box sets of the Ramones, which I also have in my collection. Just a slim book-style box with 1 LP, one on vinyl, and everything else on CD. I love the format of these boxes that they've been doing on Rhino Records because I don't really need to have a lot of the extra material on vinyl. How often am I really gonna get a vinyl record out just to listen to some outtakes or alternative versions of songs or demos? It's not very likely. To me, it works better to have just a single LP with a nice booklet, as well as everything else, all the additional content on CD. I'm perfectly fine with that. And this is an excellent box set for what I consider to be the best Replacements album. There's a little bit too much to unpack on this box set, because as you can see, there's a lot of music that is included in the box set. So I think I'm gonna do a separate video just to talk about the details on this box set of Pleased to Meet Me. But it came out already almost 4 years ago, so there's plenty of videos out there covering this one, and I think several people in the VC have shown this one. I'll just go through the highlights of this one. You get, again, 1 LP, which has the rough mixes, or what they're calling the early mixes of the album. However, if you see the track list, and if you're familiar with the original track list of Pleased to Meet Me, it is a very different track list. And so it's not only different versions of the songs, but they also include in different orders of they have a different order of the tracks, as well as songs that didn't make it originally to the album. They're putting them in the LP, which I kind of get the idea what they're trying to do here. They are trying to give you something different in the vinyl record, just not the same thing, the same record, just something different for fans to have, because they're assuming that fans, if you're buying this record, you probably already have a copy of Pleased to Meet Me, an original one. So they're trying to give you something different. However, the vibe that I get from listening to the rough mixes on vinyl is completely different than the vibe from the original one, which is also included in CD1 of the record on a 2020 remaster. First of all, from the very start of the record, the original one starts with IOU, Alex Chilton, and I Don't Know. Bangers of tracks. Fast-paced, great guitars, great vocals from Paul Westerberg to get you in that kind of mood, in a faster-paced mood. In the LP, in the rougher mixes, the first 3 tracks are Valentine, Nevermind, and Birthday Gal, which in my opinion are a completely different vibe for what the replacement were trying to do in the original version of Pleased to Meet Me. A much slower, much mellower vibe in the rough mixes record. But either way, it does pick up after that, so it's still a very enjoyable listen. Like I said before, it's a different type of listen compared to the original one. But it's still very interesting. It's an interesting listen. Again, this one is the Rough Mixes record on black vinyl, and everything else, including the alternative versions of the songs, the demos, the unreleased tracks, the outtakes, everything else came in on the 3 CDs. The only thing that this thing was missing was a live record, and I do think that the other box sets that came in from the replacements last couple of years do include a live album. This one doesn't. And it came in with an awesome booklet that goes very in-depth on the recording of the album. This goes into all the details of recording the record. Must read for any Replacements fans out there. And it is written by almost the unofficial biographer of the Replacements, Bob Mehr. And it has some really cool pictures of the band recording the record as well. All right, up next, I have a couple of record show pickups from the latest edition of the Atlanta Record Show from late last year. First of all, I picked up, I think it's an original press of More Fun in the New World by X. I'm slowly building my X collection. This is my third one in my to add to my collection from X. Classic album from the band. It came in with a inner sleeve with all the lyrics and artwork. And this one came out originally in 1983 on Elektra Records. Came in on just standard black vinyl with the Elektra labels. Yeah, I believe it is an original press. I'm not sure how difficult it is to find these ones, but that's what I found on Discogs. And I'm yet to find a bad album by X. I've loved every single one that I've heard so far. And this one is a little bit more on the political side, as far as I can tell, from some songs like The New World. But I love the guitars in this one from Billy Zoom. The guitar solos definitely very influenced in the punk movement from the 80s, as well as some rockabilly guitars. And the vocals from John Doe as well as Exene are fantastic. I love this record. True Love and Poor Girl are some of my favorite tracks from X. I also picked up this one right here, the debut album from L7. I know it's kind of hard to see there with the glare, but I wanted to keep the original shrink wrap because the sticker wasn't coming out from the wrap. This is the self-titled record from 1988. This is a repress. I'm not sure when the repress came out, but it came out and it was pressed by Epitaph Records. Also a band that I'm starting to collect also on vinyl. I think I have 2 or 3 of the records on vinyl, and I have a lot of them on CD. Came in on just standard black vinyl with the Epitaph labels. Great sounding record too, for what it is, because it's a very early recording of L7, so very noisy, kind of lo-fi, hard rock. I love this record. I think a lot of people are saying that it may be a little bit, some of the songs sound the same, and it is. Some of the early songs from L7 do sound a little bit the same, but if they sound good, so what? You know, it's a great record. Bite the Wax Tadpole. Love that track. Love that name, as well as the opening track of the record. And then which one was it? I think it was From the Law. Kind of like an anthemic punk rock song. Love that track. Love this L7 record. I definitely have to pick up more from them to add to my collection. Great addition to my my L7 collection. And then this next one wasn't from the record show. It was a record store pickup. Like I said before, I did go to a record store, my local record store, not too long ago. I wanted to get the new album by Sleater-Kinney, and they didn't have it, unfortunately. I think it sold out. But what I did find was this one, the debut album from Sleater-Kinney. And this one's also self-titled, and it came out in 1995. This is a repress from Sub Pop Records that came out in 2014. I remember when they repressed all the early Sleater-Kinney albums in 2014 by Sub Pop, but I missed out on them. I think I only got one of them, Dig Me Out, my favorite record from Sleater-Kinney. but I didn't pick up this one. For some reason, I never really wanted to pick this one up because I knew it was the very first record from Sleater-Kinney, so I thought it would be not as great for some reason. It is fantastic. It's a great record. Kind of like definitely the punkier side of Sleater-Kinney in this album. And there's the back. It came in also with a nice insert with some weird artwork. And all the lyrics in typewritten in a typewriter, which I really like. I like it when bands use typewriters and things like that. And but anyways, again, this one came out in 1995 originally, and it was listed as a damaged jacket. If you see here the hype sticker, but I didn't see any damage on the record. It actually was in pretty good shape. Maybe a really tiny seam split here in the very top, but everything else looked great, and the vinyl record was in perfect condition. Great punk album from Sleater-Kinney. You can definitely hear that kind of Riot Girl movement that they helped start back in the 90s. Fast-paced punk rock. There is only one slow song in this record, which is also called Slow Song. Right there, Slow Song. Great track. I was very impressed with this record. It also features the original drummer for Sleater-Kinney. This is not Janet. This is a drummer called Lara McFarlane. She was the original drummer in Sleater-Kinney, and she has one song where she sings in the record, which is also called Lara's Song. They got very creative in the titles of the tracks in this one. But anyways, you can definitely hear that very early punk rock sound from Sleater-Kinney in this one. A little bit lo-fi. I think this record could have been helped by a little bit better production, but I think it's a timestamp from where Sleater-Kinney were back in the 90s. Fantastic record from Sleater-Kinney. This is the self-titled debut album. And those are actually all the records that I wanted to show you in this video. I did show this one. This was also a record store pickup from a few months ago, actually from November of last year. This is Big Thief. This one's called Two Hands, and it came out in 2019 on 4AD Records. I wanted to show it again because I've been really enjoying this record. I kind of jumped into the Big Thief bandwagon a little bit too late, in my opinion, because this band has been around for a long time and I never really paid attention to them, even though when I heard their music on the radio or on streaming, wherever, I never changed the channel. I never skipped the songs. I always loved their music, but for some reason I never got their records until just late last year. This is a phenomenal album. If I had known about this record back in 2019, it would have definitely made my top 10 albums of the year. Love the vocals from the singer in this one. Very creative record as well, very emotional. I just wanted to show it again just to highlight how good it is. But anyways, those are all the records that I wanted to show you in this vinyl update video. Probably gonna be back soon. I have a few more releases to show you in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you have been picking up for your collection in the comments. See you later. See you next time. Bye-bye.